Yo, what's up? It's your boy Dragon back with a video. In today's video, I will be showing y'all how to make what you see on the screen. So the video help you out, make sure you drop a like and subscribe, man. And let's get straight into the video. Make sure you hit that like button. This help you out. Remember that. Alright, so the first thing you want to do when making this overlay is you want to go into Cinema 4D, go to File, Open, and you want to open this Lightroom right here. This will be in the comment section for free. Feel me? This is the Lightroom I use. So once you open it, just go over to More Text. And you want to go across the text and you want to type in whatever name you want to type in. So name I'm going to be doing is going to be called Miami. And we're just going to go down here and change the font to the freshman font. So you want to pick that, and then I'll be back with y'all once I get that. All right, so after you select the font, what you can do now is just go up here, click this, and go to save. And we will name this whatever you want to save it to. So I'm going to just name this Miami, hit enter. And then you just want to go right here and start rendering the text. All right, so after going to Photoshop, go to File, New, and you want to pick 1280 by 720. Now, once you do this, just click Create, and once you get done doing this, what you want to do is go back to Cinema 4D, and you want to set the depth to this to 0, and then you want to go up here, Save again, and just put a 2 beside that so you can render it, and we'll let this render out. All right, so once it's done rendering, you just want to go to File, Open, and you want to bring in both of these by holding Control on your keyboard. And then once you bring them in, you want to hit Control C, then hit Control V, and just hit Control C, then hit Control V, like that right there. So once you get it, just hold Control, select both of these layers, make it smaller, and make it about a size similar to about that right there. So once you got this size, the next thing you want to do is go into the top layer. You want to hit P on your keyboard and just go across with the pen tool by hitting you hit P, so just go across like this right here. And yeah, so after you're done connecting the dots, just right click, make selection, put feather radius to 0, and now you just want to go to layer via cut. After this, you want to go to the top layer by double clicking on that layer right there and go to color overlay, and you just want to put this color to green, and you want to go down here, double click this, and you want to put this color right here to like a yellow or orange type color, whatever vibe you're going for. But I will probably go for something like this right here. All right, so after you got that, you just want to right click the one at the back, and you also want to add a gradient overlay to this. But you want to put on overlay, make sure you have 2 of these. You want to set one of them to like white, and then set the other one to like a darkish color, kind of like that right there. And then you just want to hit OK once you're done. So after this, what you want to do, just hold these, hold Control, then hit Control E, then get this, hit Control E, then hit Control E on these right here. After this, you want to add an inner shadow to it. Just lower the distance on it, add some size to it, and make sure the opacity is high on the inner shadow. So you should end up with something like this, and you can just set the linear dodge if you want to look a little bit better. After that, you simply want to rasterize this layer by right clicking on it, rasterize layer style. Then you want to go to brightness and contrast, add some of this also, add like 2, also add some contrast, just hit Control and Control E to merge it. And basically anything you add to this, you want to merge it. All right, so now what you want to do is you want to open up the same pack. This will be in the description. This is a free pack, so just open this up and I'll be back with y'all once I open. And another effect I'm going to be doing to this right here, just add like a little shadow. This will come in handy later on. So if you want to add this, you can actually go ahead and add it like this right here. Just hit Control E once you're done. But now that you have your same pack, what you want to do is go in here and get this palm tree. Just hit Control C on it and come over here and Control V. And you want to resize it to make it smaller, but still make it like a pretty decent size. So we'll probably do this size right here. After, just hit Control J, drag this over here, and what we can end up doing is right clicking this, flipping this horizontal, and having it like that right there. So now that you have this, what you want to do, and I should have did this firstly because this is an easy mistake to make. What you want to do is just add brightness and contrast to this palm tree, and we'll probably just delete this so we can flip it later. But you just want to add brightness to this, add a little bit of contrast, and also you want to add some drop shadow type of effect over here. So just want to basically create a cliff mask and add like a shadow effect at the edge. And you also can add a little inner shadow if you want to. So just double click this, then go into inner shadow and lower the distance on it, lower the size, and make the percent about 10 so you can have something like that. So after you make sure you're done with everything you want to add. All right, so now that you got everything, you just want to hold control, select all of these, then hit Control E, and we want to hit Control J on this to flip it. And yeah, so once we flip it to the correct position, we'll just hold shift to find out the right spot, and it is the correct spot. So the next thing we want to do is go to File, Open, and this is in my pack on my YouTube channel. I have several packs. Just go to one of them. I have this city background that we'll be using. You can hit Control C on this, then hit Control V once you bring it in. And what you want to end up doing is putting this behind the Miami image right here, and add about 2 of these. So add that one, then hit Control J, and then what you want to do is just add another. It doesn't have to be the same height. You just want to add another, and if you have to cut something out, hit L on your keyboard to go around here and cut it out. Then hit Control X, and just mess with the brightness and contrast on these like we've been doing on the other one, and I will be back with you all. And a quick tip, you can hold control and actually merge these to make it easier. Also, you might want to go back here and make the background gray like I just did. All right, so the only thing I added was a drop shadow outside of it. Well, not really a drop shadow, a clipping mask shadow. And another thing I added was an inner shadow. And what you may want to do is hit Control U on this and actually up the saturation, because this image is pretty desaturated. And as you can see, when you up the saturation, it does match the other one. So just up the saturation about 23% by hitting Control U. And after this, you want to hold Shift or either hold Control and select all of these. And what you want to do, just hit Control E and merge all of them together like so. And as you see, this is coming together. So next thing we're going to do is go get the plane, and I also have this in my pack, so just look for that. And you want to hit Control C on it, come over here, hit Control V, and put it behind the palm trees, but keep it above the city background. So for this right here, we actually will not resize this right now, because when we get into After Effects, this will be a main part of the animation. So we're just gonna name this plane so we know what it is, and we'll see if we have anything else to do. All right, so what I did was just go on Google and type in sand PNG, and what you're gonna do is just when you get to an image you want, just right click, save that image, and then go into Photoshop and go to File, Open, and open up the sand. After you open the sand, hit Control C on it, come in Photoshop, hit Control V, and obviously you want to have the sand above Miami like this right here. So you want to have some above Miami, but it does not have to be that big, because the smaller it looks, the better it will look. So make it around these sides. Just hit Control J on it and basically duplicate it over here. Then you just want to hold Control, hit Control E, and now what I would do is add a clipping mask, hit B on my keyboard, and my brush settings, the hardness needs to be on 0, and we'll just go to the bottom and kind of shade this little area out. You can just shade this little area out, and I will do all the shading and be back with y'all when I'm done. All right, so now that you have all of the sand where you want it to be, it should look something like this. So as you can see on the top layer, I have 2 layers of sand because I wanted to cut out a little spot I had to make it look more realistic. So once you figure out that you have that in the correct position, you just want to hold Control, select both of them, hit Control E, and we can just name this sand for right now. And then I added another one behind it to make it look a lot more realistic, so you can see some sand behind. You see the little difference? I'm trying to get this done quick. You can see a little difference though. But yeah, just do something like this, and we'll name this sand also, so we know where it is. And just make sure you rasterize it so it doesn't have that mask on it. So I'll see if there's anything else to do, and if it isn't, we'll get to Adobe After Effects. And what you can end up doing with the sand is also hitting Control U and upping the saturation by around 20. And you can go down here, Control U, up the saturation about 20 also. And you can also hit Control U and up the saturation on palm trees a little bit, just up it by 5, because the saturation, it is pretty heavy in Photoshop, so you don't want to up it too much. And just hit Control S to say it works, so if your Photoshop does crash, you will have it. All right, so last thing you want to add to finish this off is going to be the smoke. All right, so I figured out what I want to do. What we're actually going to be doing is creating a new layer, hit B on our keyboard, and I have this brush that actually allows me to create smoke just by using the brush. Now if you don't have access to this, the same pack actually provides smoke, so you can go in there and just use that. And what you want to do is just go back here and click with the smoke and just tap with it, because you don't want too much, because the plane actually will be going through this. So just tap with it a little bit. And if you plan on lowering the opacity, say for instance if I lower it to about right there, what you will have to do is create a new layer, then connect that layer, hit Control E, so you basically can rasterize it. And Yeah, so we'll just add we'll just add one layer of smoke basically. Yeah, so just add one layer of smoke and do it how you want. And yeah, all right, so now that you got everything, last step we have to do is just rename everything and layer it. So for example, we'll start with sand and we'll name this #1 sand, and we'll just start with Miami and name this #2 Miami. And you just want to do that with everything basically. It's kind of common sense. So just number everything and name it accordingly, and after that we will go into Adobe After Effects. All right, so now that you have everything numbered and named accordingly, it should look something like this. So you see I go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and you really don't have to have this gray background, but it will make things easier to see when you actually do animate it. So you can keep that. But now that we're done with this, what we want to move on to is Adobe After Effects. I will catch you in there. All right, so once you move into Adobe After Effects, you want to keep these settings you have on my screen. Just pause the video to get them, and you want to hit OK. So after that, you want to go to File, Import, and go to File, and just select the PSD you have and hit Import once you have it selected. So I'll do that and be back with you all. And as you can see, they have everything numbered accordingly. And yeah, all right, so let's start with the animation. So the first thing we want to animate is the plane. Now, I should say this before we get started. Animation part is going to be the hardest part of the video. I'm going to be honest, I barely know myself how to animate this, but I've kind of figured it out. So the first thing we want to do is scale this down by going down here to the scale feature, and you want to scale this plane down because as we move it across the screen, it will end up getting bigger. So you want to scale it, then move it behind the palm tree so we can make a perfect loop, because it will end up looping, like this whole overlay will end up looping. So once we got that scale, we want to select everything down here under the transform group and clicking this little clock, that is the keyframe symbol. So we will move this to 5 seconds. Well, actually no, we'll try 7 seconds. So let's say we move this to 7 seconds, right? And then we go to position and we just drag this over, and we go to scale, and we're actually gonna make it the scale bigger by moving the position over, and we also will have it going higher in the air. And then let's say we get to we'll stop this at let's say 6 seconds, right? So then going to 9 seconds, we'll have it position going over, and then scaling down once again about right there, and it should look something like this. So you just play it and it should go across the screen, and then come back down and go off into the palm tree. And then what we'll have to do right here is actually enable the flip horizontal, and I'll have to find that because I literally forgot where it is, but I'll find this and be back with you. So I figured out how to flip it horizontal. You can just go like 1 frame away from 9 seconds and actually give it time to turn around, something like that, but just make sure it is behind the tree. So just go to transform, flip horizontal, and let's play it out to see what it does. So go back here and then flips, and we want to make it to where we can't even see it flip. So if it's gonna flip, we just want to move the position over all the way behind the tree, so you really can't pay attention, you really can't see the flip, right? So now that we got that situated, what we want to do now is just we're gonna make the peak of this at 12 seconds, and by doing that, what we'll just do is go to position, right, and we'll see what size the plane was at the peak of this. It was at 60. Okay, so we go back right here, and you might have to play this back a couple times because this is gonna be hard to understand. But basically, all you need to do is just set the scale to 60. All I did was just set my scale, and if you already been keyframe, you should know how to do it. All I did was just set my scale to -50. I didn't go all the way to 60 like I told y'all, but just do around -50. Let's say if you start off with 60, just go down to about 50, and then your position. All I did was just mess with the position and then let the keyframe go right there. I will show you, I won't cut this part up, I'll show you how to do the end of keyframe. All you want to do is just go to the very end. You want to scale this down, and if you want this to be really nice, we can scale this back to the original. So the original scaling was 33. So all we have to do is just set this to 33, and after you flip it horizontal, the scaling actually goes negative, so it will be a negative 33. And all we will have to do now is just go to the position and go down with it like that. We can actually make it lower if you want to make the plane like look like it's going low, and we should have something like this. So now we can just play it out and let the animation play. So you see it's coming across, and then you see it comes down, and then after that it just flips itself and then goes back across and then goes back down, and then you'll see it replay again and does the exact same thing. So not the cleanest animation, but it's still like an animation, you feel me? So yeah, now we have that. Next thing we can do is just go to the smoke, and then after the smoke we'll have a palm tree. So the smoke is pretty simple, it's pretty easy actually. The only thing you have to mess with is the positioning on the smoke, so just select that. But if you want to select all of them, you can, but just select the positioning. So we'll let this move for 7 seconds or either 6 seconds. So we'll go to the, let's see, we'll just move to the left a little bit, just have a continuous movement. And then let's say we want to move to the right, and you want like this, so you want the smoke to move slow, so we can let it move in 4-second intervals. And I'm not paying too much attention, but to make a perfect loop, all you want to do is make sure it goes back to the original scaling it was at, not scaling, but original position it was at when it first started. So that's how you can make it able to loop continuously. So we'll just set this position to 640 when we get to the end of the keyframe, and I haven't checked it out yet, but it should move. So you see how it's moving, just let that play out, and it should look something like this. So it's just moving back and forth above the plane, going back and forth, and then comes back to the original one, and then everything should just loop over again. And we'll fix that plane to make it look a little bit better at the end. So this is pretty easy. Only thing you want to do is go to effects and presets and look for the bend effect, and I forgot what it was. I'm gonna let y'all know though. Yeah, so all it is just a bender, and it's different styles of bend. Like whatever bend style you want to do, you can do that. So I think I did the boxer, and you don't have to mess with any of that transform down there. All you gotta do is go to effects and go to CC bend, and just go to the amount, click that keyframe, and let's say we want to go first 5 seconds, we want it to bend this amount. Like just do a little bit though, you want to be very subtle. The more subtle the better it is. So let's say we want to do 3 seconds, so we'll just hit the space bar, and you see it's moving, but it's moving very slow, but it's still moving. And then let's say we want to go 8 seconds and move it some more, but this time we want to go further to this side, so this might be a little quicker. So you see you want to play it, and then it's moving to the right a little bit, and then when it comes to 8 seconds, you see it's moving over that side again. And then let's say we want to go to 11 seconds, and we want this to be like a tough one, we'll just go to 7, and then we'll come over a little bit. We'll make this one look crazy. Well, nah, 7 to 1, that's crazy though. We can't go too hard, but we'll play this out and see how it looks. You see it's going over to the right, then coming over to the left, then going back over to the right, and then you feel me, it's just moving. And we can let it go back to the amount 1, because I think I mean 0. So we'll just click reset on the last one, and yeah, so we'll let it play out now. So now the only thing you have to do is just right click, copy this, and go to this one right here, drag the style over, and right click and paste it, and they will both have the same animations, so they'll both move. And we're not really gonna look at it right now because it's kind of freezing up, but now you're basically done with all the animations. Only thing I want to do right now personally is kind of fix this animation right here, so I would do this and get back with y'all. Alright, so now that you got all the animations you want and stuff how you want it, you see how everything is kind of going correctly. So what you want to do now, just go to file, export, add to Adobe Media encoder queue, and it's also another way you can render this. And if you don't have an encoder queue, I'll show you the other way, on the second time I render this. But yeah, just go to Adobe Media Encoder Q to render. All right, so once you get in Media Encoder Q, you will pick QuickTime, and you also can pick H.264 if you want to render in MP4. I'm not gonna get into that because that's gonna take up too much time. So just do QuickTime and pick GoPro Cinform RGB 12-bit alpha. If you do not select that, your overlay will not be PNG when using OBS or Streamlabs. So after this, you want to just select this output file location, and I'm gonna name this because you always want to name this. I'm gonna name this Miami no CC. No CC meaning that I did not add the CC light yet. So you want to let this render, and I will be back with y'all once that is done. Make sure you render without the gray background on, because I actually made a mistake and just rendered with the gray on. So you feel me? I gotta re-render. So yeah. So once you're done rendering, you want to save this project because you never know if you're gonna come back in here. So just hit Control S to save the project. You feel me? And I'm gonna just name this Miami because I'm probably gonna get this project file out for free or either sell it on my PayHip. I'm gonna just name this Miami PJ, meaning project file. So once you save this, just go to File, Close Project, and open up the other one. So just once again, select New Composition, hit OK because your settings should be saved. Just go to File, Import, and now you want to go to wherever you save your file to. And I saved it in here, so I'm gonna just name this Miami 2. And now you can just drag this down and you can actually play it and see the animation that you just created. And I'm gonna let this play out for a good 15 seconds. You see it come down and then boom, go back over. And I feel like I could have did a little better on the plane, but it's all right. But it just should flip and then do like that. I don't know why it took like a few seconds to start up, but y'all probably can figure out how to fix that. But that really is triggering me though. But just type in CC light, drag this on here, and hit center. And we're just gonna do 14. Now we're gonna do 7.5 second intervals. So we'll just and if you didn't know what I did, I just keyframe right there. So we'll just drag this over like that. Hit Control U and then go to the closest you can get to 15 seconds and drag this back over like that. And now your CC light should be coming over the image like this right here, and that will also loop. So all of this will loop. Even the plane is looping, but the loop doesn't look that good, but it's still looping. So now that you have everything completed, just go to File, Export. And I told you I was going to show you how to use Render Queue on the second time I rendered. So just go to Add to Render Queue, go to Render Settings, click Best Settings or whatever it says down there, and just make sure quality is on best, resolution is on full, and basically all of that. Now output module, format, QuickTime, channel RGB plus alpha. If it does not let you select that, because it has not been letting people select RGB plus alpha, go to video codec and select animation. So you can do RGB plus alpha, and millions of colors should get a plus beside it. After this, you'll just select output 2, and I'll just do Miami 2 CC. And what you would do is just click on render. Now I'm just gonna render in Media Encoder because it's quicker and the file size will be smaller. But like I say, you can just render like that in Render Queue. But just name this Miami 2 CC, meaning that it has a CC light now, and we'll just let this play out and render. So yeah, and I hope that you cannot see that. I pray that you can, because I know exactly what they did. All right, so now the overlay is done rendering. You will just go into OBS, click the little plus symbol down here. Let me move my cam out of the way. You just click the little plus symbol, go to media source, hit OK, and then click on loop, go to browse, and then just go to type in the file name, Miami 2 CC, and boom, it should pop up like this right here. And as you can see, the animation is working. Feel my got it on my head right now, but yeah, it just goes down and comes back around, and then it will just simply restart over again. Now this one is not as clean as my other one. Let me show you my other one. My other one kind of is a little more smooth, because you can see on this one when the plane kind of goes around, it's a little better. But you see how it comes down and comes back around. This one a little fast paced too. I spend more time on this too. There's a lot more stuff on this. But yeah, that's pretty much how you make it. If you enjoyed the video, and y'all can get creative with this, that's the thing about this, you can get creative with this overlay. I don't even know where my fingers at. But yeah, be more Dragon. Peace out. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe if this video helped you out. Let's get it.